I've been building my own kingdom for everyone to see. It exists to keep me safe from harm, and it's intact to glorify me. Nobody helped me build this up. It was me and me alone. I've appointed myself as the king, and I've given myself the throne. But it turns out I'm no ruler, and I have no control. So I have decided to destroy it all. I'm tearing down the walls, kicking down the doors. Everything inside this kingdom is yours. 'Cause what I've made is worthless, and it cannot stand. Come and breathe some life into my empty, cold, dead hands. Down with the fickle king, away with this fantasy. You are the one I need. Death to the kingdom of me. Death to the kingdom of me. I should probably be frightened. This empire's all I know, but it always does more damage than good. I'm afraid it's gotta go. I know that I can't be trusted, 'cause I'm just a man. And if you hadn't given your life for me, a loser would be all that I am. You know they say just follow your heart. I'm afraid that's a load of trash. Your heart will take you down to deep, dark places where you feel like you'll never come back. So I'm coming out of the dark. This facade is... I woke up feeling like it was time to tighten up. Yeah, I woke up feeling like it might be a good day to get it done. That's right. Oh, the stadium is just like my second house. Now I'm two-tone talking, they can't shut my mouth. I woke up feeling like it was time to tighten up.
Week 3 is upon us, folks. Week 3 is upon us. And I don't know if it's a good thing. I don't know if it's a bad thing. But it's here. Welcome to the Two-Tone Talk by God Pod, episode 175, where, like I said, it is week 3, and the Tennessee Titans, who are 0-2, will be playing the 2-0 Indianapolis Colts at home in what is their first game in the AFC South. And honestly, when the schedules came out back in May, we looked at this first month of the season and we said, wow, that Colts game is really going to be the most winnable game that we have in the first month. Well, don't look now, but the Colts are 2-0 and Daniel Jones is having a career resurgence. Because of course he is. Because of course he is. Harold Landry has gone to the Patriots and has found a new lease on life as an edge rusher. Because of course he has. Of course he has. Kevin Zeitler and all these guys who were brought in to Tennessee because they're so durable and they never get hurt, now they're dealing with injuries because of course they are. Of course they are. Oh my goodness. Well, here's the thing. This is, in my opinion, a must-win game for the Titans on Sunday in terms of this season. I think that a couple of things. It's not been good for Tennessee so far, but if I'm going to look on the optimistic side, and you know what? On Fridays, that's what we do. Mondays are the days for pessimism. Mondays are the days for negativity. Friday is when we try to see the light. The Titans have had a tough first two games. At Denver against that defense, Cam's first start on the road, that's tough. It's especially tough when your coach doesn't know the rules and your receivers can't catch the ball. Then week 2 against the Rams, who I think are easily a top 10 team in the league, and some people might even say they're a top 5. I think the Rams are going to be a contender come January. That's a tough first two games. Those two defensive fronts, tough. Those defenses as a whole, tough. The Rams, especially with all of the weapons that they have on offense with Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams, and then Matt Stafford, who's probably still a top 5 quarterback in this league, tough. Tough first two games for a young team with a roster that's tough. I mean, we knew coming in, I talked about it Monday, the most likely scenario for the Titans through these first two games was 0-2. That was just the most likely scenario based on who the Titans are and the two teams they were playing. It was most likely going to be 0-2. Now you've got the Colts coming to town, and all of a sudden this game doesn't look as winnable as it did 2 weeks ago because the Colts are on top of the world right now. They're 2-0, and Daniel Jones looks great, and Jonathan Taylor had like 160 yards last week, and Michael Pittman's looking good, and Tyler Warren's looking good, and Josh Downs is looking good, and everything's looking great for the Colts right now. And so, yeah, maybe this is not a winnable game either, but I will just offer you this. The Colts' defensive front is not even comparable to the Broncos or the Rams. The Colts' front four is not even comparable. Now, our offensive line is not very good, unfortunately, but keep in mind, I'm looking on the optimistic side. And people have been talking about this on social media, and I'm going to back up this conversation. I know the Titans have given up 11 sacks in the first two games, and that's unacceptable. But I think there's something to, when Brian Callahan, I know people are mad at him, but when he said on Monday in his press conference, it's an offense issue, not just an offensive line issue, that argument holds some weight because 2 of the 11 sacks you could contribute to Cam Ward. A few of them you could contribute to the running backs that are not doing good in protection or tight ends. So the offensive line accounts for maybe 5 or 6 of those 11 sacks. And that's still not good, but that's more reasonable, right? And I think that when you consider the fact that our starting right tackle missed the fourth quarter of the Denver game, missed the entire Rams game, I expect J.C. Latham to not play on Sunday against Indianapolis. I don't expect J.C. Latham to play, so it's probably going to be a Juku or Aliudo or something like that. And I think 3 of the remaining 6 sacks are contributed to that backup right tackle. So I think while the offensive line has not been good, maybe they haven't been quite as bad as the 11 sacks in 2 weeks would suggest, because some of those are on Cam, some of those are on running backs and things like that. As a fan, I don't really care who's causing it. I just care that they're happening. And 11 sacks in 2 weeks, wherever they're coming from, however they're happening, it's unacceptable. But with that being said, the Colts defensive front, I mean, the Broncos and Rams, you're talking about 2 elite defensive fronts in the first 2 weeks of the season. The Colts defensive front, not as good as the Broncos or Rams. So maybe that could make way for a better offensive line performance. I think Kevin Zeitler at right guard will be good to go. But I just don't see J.C. Latham. I mean, they're giving the official designations today. I don't even think J.C. will even be questionable or even doubtful. I think they'll just go ahead and rule him out. today. So I think that the offensive line, even with a backup right tackle, could fare better. I think Peter Skoronski's been great. I think Lloyd Cushenberry was really bad against the Rams. He gave up 4 pressures. He's working his way back from injury, and I hope that's what's causing Lloyd Cushenberry's trouble. And Dan Moore, you know I'm not a fan of the contract. You know he does not give me a warm, fuzzy feeling. But he has not been Andre Dillard or Dennis Daly. He's not that level of disaster. Now, when he goes against Houston next weekend, it's going to be bad because when you put him against anything resembling an elite pass rusher, it's a done deal. But against the Colts, Dan Moore could be better. Amnesia in the Super Chat said, never been running backup lineman since the fourth quarter, so sacks are expected. However, that has improved every week on offense. Growth is growth. I think you typed something wrong there in the first half, but I get what you're saying. Amnesia said that, you've got a backup right tackle in there, especially against these defensive fronts the Titans have been going against. John Ojukwu and Ali Udo and guys like that, they're going to struggle. Dan Moore, he doesn't get to struggle because he's getting paid $22 million. But maybe the offensive line can fare better, and if the offensive line against that Colts defensive front can fare better, maybe that means Cam Ward will fare better. Maybe that means that the playbook and the play calling will be better because you won't feel like you're trying to work your way around 0.2 seconds to throw. But if you watched on Tuesday on Patreon, I broke down the Titans-Rams highlights. Some of that is either on Cam or the receivers not getting open or whatever, because there were times when Cam was getting sacked and he had time, especially in the second half of that game. There were times when Cam would drop back, and if you watched it, I would count 1, 2, 3, 4. I counted to 4 on 2 separate occasions in this game, and Cam Ward got sacked. If you got 4 seconds to stand there and throw the ball, that should be enough time for somebody to get open. So either these guys aren't getting open, or the route combinations suck, or there's something Cam's not seeing, which would be fine because he has literally played in 2 games against 2 elite defenses. But as far as this Sunday, I worry about our defense. Because Jonathan Taylor had 160 yards against Denver this past Sunday. Last year in the Titans-Colts second game toward the end of the year, and I know the Titans were out of it. They were just looking to the end of the season already, but the Titans gave up over 300 rushing yards to the Colts when they played them for the second time last year. Over 200 of those from Jonathan Taylor. When I see that, and then I see the way that the Rams imposed their will on the Titans in the fourth quarter the other day, that worries me. Going against the Colts run game worries me. I think Tavondre Sweat's going to play. It sure looks like he's going to play. He's convinced he's going to play. They need him because I worry about the Titans against Jonathan Taylor in the Colts run game. Tell you what else I worry about. The Titans pass rush. Well, I worry about the Titans pass rush all the time, but especially this week, Indianapolis has got a great offensive line themselves. A great offensive line. They gave up 1 sack to the Broncos this past Sunday. That Broncos defensive front that ate our offensive line's lunch in week 1, the Colts only gave up 1 sack. And that was on a blitz, I believe. So I worry about Daniel Jones having all day to throw. Because, I don't see any reason to believe that our front 4 is going to be able to make a lot of noise against this Colts offensive line. So I don't know if Denard Wilson, who talked earlier this week about how he needs to send more pressure, and he should have sent more pressure against Matthew Stafford on Sunday. I don't know. I don't know if that's and while we're talking about things I'm worried about with the defense, L'Jarius Sneed has not practiced all week. Paul Kuharsky said, wouldn't worry about it. I think he'll play, but we'll find out today. I think he'll probably be questionable on the injury report today. But L'Jarius Sneed has not practiced this week with a back injury. Jarvis Brownlee was added to the injury report yesterday with an injury. So if you've got a pass rush that's really going to struggle against a really good Colts offensive line, and then your secondary could be down a guy, not good. Not good. So we need to be hoping L'Jarius Sneed is able to play. I know he had some bad plays against the Rams, but he also had some good ones, and he's still the best corner we got right now. So you need him and Jarvis to both be able to play. You need to get pressure on Daniel Jones somehow. I don't know how the heck you're going to do it, but you need to get pressure on Daniel Jones somehow and find a way to stop the run. That's what I'm mainly worried about. I think the Titans' offense can have more success this week because the Colts' defensive front not as good as the Broncos or the Rams, who the Titans have played so far. But, you know, I worry about our defense. I worry about our defense against that Colts run game, against their offensive line with the injuries we have. It worries me. It worries me. But with that being said, folks, I know getting started 0-2 and people are fed up with Callahan and people are fed up with Calvin and people are fed up with Sneed and this guy and that guy, and I understand that. But just look at it this way, guys. There's a reason why in the title and in the thumbnail I call this a must-win on Sunday. Because if the Titans find a way to win this game, I don't care if it's 6-3. I don't care if it's 2-0. If the Titans find a way to beat the Colts on Sunday, everything's going to feel better. Everything's going to feel better because the Texans and the Jaguars are playing each other. One of them's going to lose. If you beat the Colts, you're going to have a whole new lease on life as a Titans fan, and so will I. So, and I just want to publicly say I'm not buying the Colts, right? Like I'm not buying the Colts. I know they've been a surprise team through the first 2 weeks, but do I think Daniel Jones is going to keep playing at that level? I don't. I don't know if he's going to come back down to earth this week. I hope it'll be this week, but you know, I don't think it's going to last, but I would love for it to not last this week. Amnesia, thank you for the super chat, said Titans couldn't score in week 1 and only had 12 points. The wide receivers couldn't catch, and we still almost won the game. Week 2, we scored 19. Our offense could catch, running game worked, and defense held. We're winning week 3. Well, the defense held to the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter, they got obliterated. And I'm not willing to say our receivers could catch because Calvin Ridley still had a terrible drop. And scoring 19 is still not enough, especially when the other team scores 33 and could have had 40. But, yeah, I'm not sold on the Colts. I think that this whole, like, you know, Daniel Jones is going to take us to the promised land. I think it's, once again, hopes and dreams. But, you know, the AFC South is bad, so it's kind of wide open. And that's why if the Titans can find a way to somehow win this game, it would. And let's just be honest, the Titans and their fans desperately need this. On the bonus episode that I did on Patreon Wednesday, which I do every Wednesday now, you can sign up, first week's free, and then I think you'll want to stick around because there's a lot of great stuff over there. But I talked about it on Wednesday. The environment in the stadium sucks. It's lifeless. Games are not well attended. The fans don't believe in the team enough to go purchase a ticket and go and buy stuff from the concession stand and pay for parking. They don't believe in the team enough to do that. They believe in Cam, I think, but they don't believe in the Titans. They don't believe in Brian Callahan. The only way to change it is to start winning games. And so I know we don't expect the Titans to do a whole lot of winning this season, but, I mean, even if you don't, like, make the playoffs or win 8 or 9 games or anything like that, these young guys need to figure out what it's like to win. Think about Peter Skoronski since he showed up. How much winning has he done since he got to Nashville? Not a lot. Not a lot. His rookie year, what did they go? 6-11. Last year they were 3-14. They start this season 0-2. Peter Skoronski has not been a part of a whole lot of winning since he got here. So these guys need to start figuring out what it's like to win. They don't need to get in an environment where losing is the norm. And so, regardless of what comes after it, a win over Indianapolis this Sunday would be absolutely huge. Let's talk about the 32-1 power rankings. I do these every Friday. These are just based on my personal opinion of what I see in the league right now. The bottom three, at dead last, I'm still going to have the New Orleans Saints. Even though they have not looked terrible, they've been in both games they've played. I just think that is like the straight out of the gate. We're going to give it everything we've got the first 2 weeks, and then eventually it all falls apart. I see nothing about the Saints that intrigues me. So I'm going to keep them at last. At number 31, a team that I never thought would be this low on the list, the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins suck. They're horrible. I didn't think they would be particularly good, but I didn't think they'd be this bad. They're now 0-3 after last night. I think Mike McDaniel's seat's on fire. I think Tua's seat's on fire. Like, I think Tyreek Hill could be traded. Like, this is a disaster in Miami. Total disaster. And rounding out the bottom three, I went with the Carolina Panthers, who have been kind of disappointing to me through the first 2 weeks because I expected the Panthers to be a lot better. But through the first 2 weeks, I know the final score against Arizona the other day looked better than it was, but Carolina was getting whooped in this game till the very end. Bryce Young just not looking as good as I thought he would this year because it looked like he was improving. Just not what I was expecting or what I thought was coming for Carolina this year. That's my bottom three. Now we get into the 20s, and at 29, I've got the Titans. I think the Titans could beat the Panthers, the Dolphins, and the Saints right now. I think they could beat those three teams. But it's just everything I could say about the Titans I've already said. I talk about the Titans more than anybody on this podcast, obviously. So I can't put them any higher than 29. At 28, the Bears. I just think the Bears are a disaster right now. They're a disaster. New coach, same disaster. Caleb doesn't look good to me. Ben Johnson is talking about how their practice habits aren't good. It's like, dude, you're the coach. You figure it out. 27, the Browns got whooped the other day. I just think the Browns are just – I think you're going to see a very Cleveland Browns type season from the Browns this year. I just think a whole lot of losing in their future. Number 26, the Jets. What you got from the Jets this past week is what I expected from the Jets this year. I don't think the Jets are going to be very good, and now Justin Fields is hurt. A lot of quarterbacks hurt. Number 25, the Giants. I apologize to Russell Wilson for saying he was washed because Russell Wilson went off against Dallas in a losing effort in a crazy game. But, the Giants, they showed a lot of fight in that game against Dallas, and I think coming up short in a game like that could be devastating for them early on in the season, but we'll see. Number 24, the Jaguars. Trevor's Trevor. He's all right, but Brian Thomas Jr., I've never seen anything like the way this guy just doesn't want to get hit. Like, have you guys seen the clips of BTJ running across the middle and he's like tensing up because he don't want anybody to hit him? I've never seen anything like that in my life. Caused Trevor to throw an interception because of it. Awful. That is pathetic. Number 23, the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona's 2-0. I don't believe in them at all. They've beaten the Panthers and the Saints, so I'm not convinced of anything with Arizona. But you know what? They're 2-0, so I move them up the list a little bit. Kyler Murray posting pictures with a dog with a Michael Vick shirt on. What are you doing? Number 22, the Minnesota Vikings. How many times have I said I am not a believer in J.J. McCarthy, and I never was? And Sunday night against Atlanta, I felt so vindicated. I just think I was never intrigued by him as a prospect. I think Minnesota's got a lot of talent. I think they've got a great coach. But I do think J.J. McCarthy is a downgrade from Sam Darnold. Number 21, there it is. Geno Smith was terrible the other night against the Chargers. Raiders just looked kind of lifeless. On Monday night primetime against the Chargers, they were just outclassed in every possible way by the Chargers in this game. And I just think being in that division, the Raiders are just going to have a tough go. Let's go to the other side of the screen with number 20 with the Patriots. The Patriots got a win. They beat the Dolphins barely. Okay, I don't believe in Drake May the way that other people do. I think they've got a nice roster. I just think they're not even comparable to Buffalo in that division. But I don't know. I'm not going to really move them up the list because I'm just not sold on anything I saw Sunday. They beat Miami. Number 19, the Seahawks. I told you I like the Seahawks. I don't think anybody would have picked them over the Steelers on Sunday, but the Seahawks beat them. I'm telling you, the Seahawks are going to be a team that just won't go away. They were my sleeper pick to be a surprise playoff team. Number 18, the Cowboys in a dramatic, crazy win. Maybe the Brian Schottenheimer thing will work out. Number 17, the Houston Texans. I think CJ Stroud looks flat out bad. I think he looks flat out bad. I think their team looks flat out bad. That defense that was supposed to be so great, Baker Mayfield could not have made that game-winning drive look any easier Monday night. I think the Texans, I'll give them some grace because, they start off the season with the Rams and the Bucks. That's 2 tough games, but the Texans are supposed to be good. They're 0-2, and C.J. Stroud is going the wrong way. Number 16, the Kansas City Chiefs. This may be the lowest the Chiefs have ever been ranked on this list. I think the Chiefs look terrible. And I said that I thought they would lose convincingly to the Eagles, and they did. I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know if they're going to have to trade for somebody, but the Chiefs, especially with the Chargers in that division on fire right now, better look out. They'll probably end up in the Super Bowl. Number 15, the Falcons. I said the Falcons could be a sleeper team. I think Michael Penix has been playing really well. Bijan Robinson's a freak. Kyle Pitts finally maybe doing a little something. Their rookies went off the other night against Minnesota, so I think the Falcons are in a good spot right now. They were a missed field goal away from taking the Bucs to overtime in week 1. Number 14, the Steelers. I think Aaron Rodgers is just making some unbelievable Aaron Rodgers-like throws. Disappointing loss to Seattle, but like I said, I think the Steelers are going to just be around. They're going to just be around. They had some crazy plays the other day against Seattle that put them behind the 8 ball. The guy didn't know the rules of the kickoff and dropped the ball, and then Seattle recovered it for a touchdown. That kind of stuff. But I think the Steelers are going to be dangerous down the stretch. Number 13, the Broncos. The Broncos should be 2-0 right now. It's the stupidest penalty in the world, the leverage penalty that caused them to lose. But, I think Sean Payton's done a terrible job through the first 2 weeks. But the Broncos still, their defense, I think they belong up here. Number 12, I went with the 49ers. I know Brock Purdy's hurt now, and it's not good. Is it Mac Jones? Is Mac Jones their backup? I don't know. It's weird with these teams with quarterbacks that are out. I think the 49ers are still a well-coached team, and I think they've got enough talent that maybe, I don't know. Is there a timeline on Purdy? How long's he out? Somebody let me know. Number 11, the Bengals. I know Joe Burrow's out for 3 months. But for some reason, I feel like the Bengals are going to do – they're already 2-0. I feel like the Bengals are going to do better with Jake Browning than people think. And then if Burrow's able to come back in December and the Bengals are still in the hunt, I don't know. That could be interesting. But it's weird because I know without Burrow, the Bengals aren't the Bengals. But I didn't want to just totally drop them off the face of the earth. We get to the top 10, and you know what? At number 10, I went with the Colts. I don't buy them in the long run, but right now, sure. Daniel Jones is playing well. Tyler Warren's playing well. Jonathan Taylor's playing well. They feel good about themselves. Sure. Who else? I couldn't put the Bengals in the top 10 with Burrow out. All the other teams below them lost. So sure, the Colts. Number 10. Number 9, the Commanders. Jaden Daniels is hurt. He won't be out as long as Burrow or Purdy, but Jaden Daniels is hurt. I still think the Commanders are fine. They got beat by the Packers. I think the Packers are better than them, but I think the Commanders will be fine. I've got them at number 9. If they can sneak a win without Jaden Daniels, that'd be good for them. Number 8, the Lions. I knew I was not giving up on the Lions. The Lions looked great on Sunday, so the Lions stay up here. I think from here on, it's literally the same order I had last week. Number 7, the Rams. I think the Rams are studs. The Bucs are great. Baker Mayfield, how could you not root for him? They've got so many weapons. Bucky Irving is great. Number 5, the Chargers. I think the Chargers are clicking on all cylinders to start the season. They're great. The Eagles, number 4, boring to watch, absolutely atrocious to watch. but they win. They're the defending world champions. It ain't flashy, but it works. Number 3, the Ravens. I didn't give up on them. I mean, they're still contenders. They looked like world beaters on Sunday. The Bills, now 3-0, phenomenal. Josh Allen's a freak. And then I still got Green Bay at number 1. I think Green Bay right now is the most complete team in the league. So there you go. There's my 32-1. Cam Edwards says, Two-Tone, you're a couch potato. You've never played a sport in your life, so be quiet. You're the last person who should call a QB trash. Huh. Okay. Put user in timeout for 24 hours. Thanks for watching this couch potato, Cam. It's the weenie of the week right there. Okay. We've got predictions for this upcoming Sunday, week 3. Already week 3. We're going, man. And the Bills beat the Dolphins last night, and now we got game Sunday. As always, in the chat, everybody but Cam, because he's in timeout now, because he just came in here dropping insults, acting like he could do that. In case you didn't know, this is my channel, and I'll just block you. So Bengals, Vikings. Everybody drop your predictions in the oh my God. Was he talking to somebody other than me? No, he said Two-Tone, you're a cow. No, he was talking to me. Oh man, he wasn't talking to me. Oh dude. Wait a minute. Can I unblock him? Can I get him out of timeout? He wasn't talking to me? Oh, dang. Can I get him out of timeout? I can't do it. He's in timeout for 24 hours. Hey, Cam, if you're still watching, I thought you were talking to me. I thought you were talking to me, and you were talking to somebody else called Two-Tone Productions in the chat. Come back on Monday, and I will make it up to you somehow. I thought you were talking to me, man. If Cam is still, I don't know if Cam's still here. I don't know if Cam is even still in the chat because now I've hidden him and it won't let me undo it. I'm sorry, Cam. Oh, no. Oh, no. Sorry, Cam. Okay. Well, let's make predictions. And everybody, I really am sorry, dude. I thought you were talking to me. I saw Two-Tone, you're a couch potato. So, oh, man. EJ Era in the super chat said thoughts on the tush push potentially being banned. I was against the ban of the tush push until it was revealed that it's a blatantly illegal play because the Eagles are false starting every time. They are false starting every single time they run it because both guards lean forward to get leverage before the ball's even snapped. So, like, yeah, if you're going to blatantly cheat, if you're going to commit penalties every time you do it, then yeah, it should be banned. Predictions for this Sunday. Everybody drop your predictions for these games in the chat. Bengals, Vikings. So who's is it Carson Wentz and Jake Browning? Oh my gosh. This is in Minnesota. This is the thing. I think the Bengals are going to win. I got the Bengals winning this. I trust Jake Browning more than I trust Carson Wentz. And so that's going to be a unique conversation if they do win because you've got a backup quarterback, and the Bengals could be 3-0. I'm going with the Bengals in this. It's in Minnesota, so I know that's kind of tough for a backup quarterback, but I still trust Jake Browning more than I trust Carson Wentz. Give me the Bengals, 3-0. Steelers, Patriots. I'm going to go with the Steelers. It's in Foxborough. I'm going with the Steelers. I think Drake May is going to struggle against the Steelers defense. And yeah. I just think Aaron Rodgers is playing at a level that's most similar to prime Aaron Rodgers that we've seen. I got the Steelers. Texans, Jags in Jacksonville. I'm going Houston. I think Houston's going to come into this game desperate. Like, they're off to a bad start. CJ hasn't looked good. The Jaguars have a little bit of turmoil going on. Because, like, BTJ, what's going on? Trevor gave his coach this treatment in the middle of a game. He told him, get out of here. Appreciate Christopher in the chat watching. But I think the Texans are going to come in more dangerous, and I think the Texans will get a win. I think it'll be close, but I think the Texans will get a win because they, on paper, they're supposed to be the team that runs away with the South. I think they need it more, so they're going to come in with more urgency. I got the Texans. Falcons, Panthers. I think the Falcons get a win here. I think this could be lopsided. I think the Panthers are worse than I even expected. So I'm going to go Falcons convincingly. Even though it's in Carolina, I don't care. I got the Falcons. Rams, Eagles. I'm going Rams. I'm picking the Rams to beat the Eagles. I think there are weaknesses with the Eagles that the Cowboys and the Chiefs were not able to exploit that I think the Rams will be able to exploit. I'm going to pick the Rams by 2 scores. I think the Rams beat the Eagles by 2 scores. Even though it's in Philly, I got the Rams. Jets, Bucks. Give me the Bucks. In Tampa Bay, the Jets, I think Justin Fields is hurt, right? Is Justin Fields out? Even if he was in, but especially with him out, I got the Bucks winning this one. Raiders, Commanders. Is Marcus? I guess Marcus is starting for the Commanders if Jaden Daniels is hurt. I guess that means, because I think they've officially ruled Jaden Daniels out. So it's going to be the Mariota show against his former team, the Raiders. I'm going to say Washington. It's in Washington, and Marcus actually usually tends to play well with the Commanders when he gets in there. So I'm going I'm going Commanders. Packers, Browns. I got Packers. Easy. It's in Cleveland, but I think the Packers will whoop the Browns. I think the Packers are just that much better than them. Broncos, Chargers. I'm going Chargers. I think the Chargers are just, like I said earlier, I think the Chargers are just clicking on all cylinders to start the year. I think Sean Payton has actually not done a very good job coaching the Broncos so far this year. I think if he were coaching against anyone else in week 1, he would have been outcoached, but because he was coaching against Brian Callahan, so it goes. But anyway, I don't think Bo Nix is as good as people thought he was going to be, so I think the Chargers get a win. Saints, Seahawks. I'm going Seahawks. Spencer Rattler in that loud Seattle stadium. I think the Seahawks defense will have him having a fit back there at quarterback. I've got the Seahawks winning this one. Cardinals, Niners. So it's Mac Jones. Dang. If Brock Purdy were playing, I would absolutely pick the 49ers hands down. I'm going to go Arizona. Even though I still don't believe in them, I'm going to go Arizona. Just because without Purdy, I mean, Mac Jones, right? I can't pick that. I'm going Cardinals. Cowboys, Bears. I got Cowboys. I think the Bears are just worse than I thought. I think Caleb Williams is even worse than I thought. I got the Cowboys. Cowboys got a little spunk to them. They got a little spunk. I'll go with them. Oh my God, this is the Sunday nighter. Chiefs Giants is the Sunday night game. If the Chiefs lose this one, it's time to hit the panic button. I don't think they'll lose. I got the Chiefs. It's in New York. I got the Chiefs winning a boring game over the Giants Sunday night. I got to go Chiefs. Got to go Chiefs. Surely. And then Monday night, you got a good one. Lions-Ravens. That's a good one. And I'm going to go Baltimore because it's in Baltimore. Monday night, you just know Derek's going to go off. I got the Ravens. And last but not least, Titans-Colts. Odds are stacked against us, man. Odds are stacked against us. Colts are clicking on all cylinders. Daniel Jones, career renaissance. Their O-line's playing really good football. Cam's having his growing pains. Brian Callahan hadn't done a very good job. I don't know, man. I know that the logical choice, the logical scenario here is to pick the Colts. I mean, they're 2-0, we're 0-2. They seem to be headed in the right direction. We apparently appear to be headed in the wrong direction. But you know what? I woke up feeling like it was time to tighten up. I'm going with the Titans over the Colts. And you can't talk me out of it. Because all the Colts are, all they are, Daniel Jones. Ooh, Daniel Jones. Oh, we're 2-0. We beat the Broncos off a leverage penalty. Oh, my goodness. We beat one of the worst teams in the league in Miami in week 1 because they were so terrible. They are who we thought they were. They are hopes. They are dreams. It's all it ever is with them. Hopes and dreams. Before it was AR, now it's Danny Dimes. Oh, this is the one. The next Peyton Manning. He's the next Arch Manning is what he is. The hyped up superstar who turns out to be nothing. Hopes and dreams. I'm going with the Titans. This dude, I can't even think of his name. The linebacker for Indianapolis, he talked about Cam Ward. I hope he tries that throw again. I hope he tries that throw because it ain't going to work against us. Ain't a single person scared of y'all. Ain't nobody ever seen a Colts defense that made him go, ooh, no, not the Colts. Don't nobody care about y'all. Ain't nobody ever cared about y'all. And you can go hang a banner in your stadium there in Mucus Oil Stadium all you want that says, we started 2-0. We started 2-0. Daniel Jones. We all hated him 2 weeks ago, but now he's our favorite player. You can do that all you want to, but in the real world where the rest of us live, we know what Daniel Jones is. We've done watched him all these years. We know how this goes. We know how it always goes with the Colts. Everybody going to get all excited about y'all, and then y'all going to do what you always do. You're going to squat over the commode, and what is going to trickle out of you is going to be nothing but hopes and dreams. That's all I've got for you today, everybody. God bless you. Enjoy your weekend of football. I will be back on Monday afternoon to talk about whatever happens on Sunday. God bless you. Tighten up. Bye.